What you have is the best of both worlds. You have the government backing the entity that is operating for it, and then you have the private sector experience. Okay, because private sector is bound by certain codes and conduct and the delivery. Okay, that's not to say that government sector doesn't have the delivery, but then the private sector is mandated to meet certain KPIs. Now, there's a history to the reason why companies or countries like PPPs, because the PPP or the private partner is actually bringing on board the needed money. Okay, so the government doesn't have to go find any investment to invest in a company. And then they also have the OPEX, the money that they use to continue operating their entity. And that's one of the advantages of entities like this, particularly when it comes to the revenue assurance space, because they're able to deliver, because they're able to generate the finances themselves to be able to give government the needed assurance.
PPP, as he has said, it's a way to go when it comes to revenue assurance, in my opinion. Because especially in our part of our world, governments sometimes are, to put it in a better way, not to be in contempt of anybody, they are not able to do as expected. Because on one hand, he is supposed to be the enabler, and on the other hand, he needs the money. So sometimes playing dual role becomes a bit difficult. And so when a private man comes in, he is putting in his money, his technology, his personnel. So obviously he needs returns. And so he puts in his best to make sure that he gets returns on whatever he's putting in. And then the government can take a laid-back position and then allow the private man to do what he has to do. And then when there are issues, the government can now come in and settle whatever dispute that there is. So I think the best way is the PPP.
Best option is the PPP. But PPP is not necessarily the government doesn't have money, so a private person has to come in with the money. Sometimes it's also about the technology. The government may have the resources, but it is not a core mandate of a government. So for the government to concentrate on their governance, they have to also, and to foster the private growth, then the space is allowed for the private person with the technology. Sometimes it may be the capital as well as the know-how. But whichever way, either one of them, once the person can bring on board to enhance the returns, then I think it's the best way to go. So that as you bring in your share to bear on the issue and you give exposure as to whatever is going on, then like I said earlier, the government can also concentrate. And at the end of the day, it's a revenue share.